The atmosphere in Cardiff was electric with anticipation long before the first note filled the air. Fans streamed into the Principality Stadium, their cheers echoing off the steel beams and cascading down from the stands like a lively thunderstorm. Flags in red and white, adorned with dragon symbols and Union Jacks, fluttered in the fading light as thousands of voices readied themselves for what promised to be an unforgettable stop on the Grand National Tour. This evening was not merely another concert. It signified a moment when this Welsh city would host a defining artist of the generation, alongside his equally dynamic counterpart. Welcome to Celebrity Cookies, where the tea is always hot and the stories come with sprinkles of surprise. Make sure to subscribe, leave a comment with your take on the story. As the lights dimmed and silence enveloped the crowd, a single spotlight broke through the darkness of a stadium. Kendrick Lamar, clad in a simple white t-shirt and dark jeans, signaled the start of TV Off. The opening notes surged like a challenge, the sharp drumbeat perfectly aligning with the urgent rhythm of Kendrick's voice. Cardiff erupted in response. The ground trembled with synchronized stomps, phones raised like beacons in the night, and with every line Kendrick delivered, the audience roared back as if in conversation. The visuals behind him, a vibrant grid of red and blue, mirrored the crowd's heartbeat, each flash amplifying the raw power of the lyrics. As the final refrain faded into silence, SZA emerged in a swirl of soft white light. She approached a microphone illuminated by a gentle spotlight and began singing Broken Clocks. The transition was striking. Kendrick's entrance had been a burst of energy, while SZA's was a soothing calm. Yet the audience was ready, their voices open and eager. By the time she reached the chorus, thousands joined her in perfect harmony. What to do? I'm falling back. The stadium seemed to pulse with her, the crowd swaying together as her voice, rich, heartfelt, and steady, carried across every row and seat. For a brief moment, the outside world faded away, leaving only SZA's melody. Then came a pivotal moment. The stage lights flickered back on, and Kendrick returned for 30 for 30 freestyle. The two artists stood side by side, a blend of prophecy and poetry. The beat dropped, and Kendrick and SZA exchanged verses like detectives sharing clues, each line adding a new twist to the lyrical puzzle. Cardiff's reaction was explosive. Arms shot up in the air, feet thumped on the ground, and when Kendrick and SZA stepped forward together on the catwalk, the crowd's roar reached a new peak. This was more than just a performance, it was a declaration. Tonight, the city belonged to them. As the evening progressed, Kendrick launched into Family Ties, igniting a wave of excitement among the crowd. The powerful beat, trap metal energy, and intense lyrics about loyalty and betrayal created an exhilarating high point. Fans enthusiastically sang along, their phones illuminating the venue in appreciation. A chant reminiscent of a soccer match, defense, was drowned out by the thunderous cheers during Family Ties. Cardiff had found its anthem for the night. Next, the heavy beat of Humble took over. As the iconic piano riff played, thousands of voices shouted, "Sit down, be humble." The atmosphere felt almost sacred, with everyone in the stadium, from the highest seats to the front row, sharing a moment of collective introspection. When Kendrick paused to let the crowd sing along, the energy was so palpable it resonated with everyone present. Just as the excitement seemed to peak, the mood shifted as SZA took the stage solo for Nobody Gets Me. However, the audience was not ready to settle down. The opening notes of All Right reignited their enthusiasm. Kendrick returned mid-song, delivering the triumphant chorus, and the entire stadium chanted, "We gon' be all right." In a city that has faced its share of challenges, those words struck a deep chord, and the crowd embraced them as a beacon of hope. At this point, the stadium was completely packed, no empty seats or vacant spots. Energy filled the air, fists raised, cell phone screens glowing like stars, and faces beaming with excitement. It was a moment unlike any other in a city ready to shine. As night fell, Kendrick introduced Mad City. The opening guitar and clarinet sample seemed to transport the audience in Cardiff to the gritty streets of Compton. He moved around the stage, narrating the song's story as if reflecting on his past. The chorus, Mad City, erupted around him, and fans waved their hands in sync with the captivating beat, creating an electrifying atmosphere. Then came the highly anticipated moment of the Kendrick Lamar concert, DNA. The lights dimmed, and a single red strobe light flickered. Suddenly, the beat dropped, with bass so powerful it vibrated in your chest and percussion, so sharp it sounded like gunfire. Kendrick's voice pierced through the noise. I got loyalty, got royalty inside my DNA. The crowd in Cardiff matched his energy, singing along with every line. By the end, thousands were chanting in unison, transforming the stadium into a living entity cheering for its leader. As the final note faded into silence, Kendrick raised his microphone, stepped forward on stage, and acknowledged the audience with a salute. No words were necessary, just a shared glance between the artist and the crowd that conveyed more than any encore could. At the end of the performance, the audience wouldn't let Kendrick leave, chanting for an encore. Encore! Encore! Kendrick smiled and gestured to SZA. Together, they performed a simple yet powerful finale, All the Stars, with a cascade of golden lights. The calming and uplifting melody filled the air in Cardiff, offering a moment of relief after the intense show. As the music came to a close, SZA and Kendrick stood together with their hands raised high. The crowd in Cardiff erupted again as fireworks lit up the night sky above the stadium. The Cardiff stop of the Grand National Tour concluded not with confetti, but with a deep sense of togetherness. No words could fully express every cheer, high five, or tear shed. However, it was clear that on this night, Cardiff, Wales experienced more than just a concert. It became part of something bigger. For those who were there, entity cheering for its leader. As the final note faded into silence, Kendrick raised his microphone, stepped forward on stage, and acknowledged the audience with a salute. No words were necessary, just a shared glance between the artist and the crowd that conveyed more than any encore could. At the end of the performance, the audience wouldn't let Kendrick leave, chanting for an encore. Encore! Encore! Kendrick smiled and gestured to SZA. Together, they performed a simple yet powerful finale, All the Stars, with a cascade of golden lights. The calming and uplifting melody filled the air in Cardiff, offering a moment of relief after the intense show. As the music came to a close, SZA and Kendrick stood together with their hands raised high. The crowd in Cardiff erupted again as fireworks lit up the night sky above the stadium. The Cardiff stop of the Grand National Tour concluded not with confetti, but with a deep sense of togetherness. No words could fully express every cheer, high five, or tear shed. However, it was clear that on this night, Cardiff, Wales experienced more than just a concert. It became part of something bigger. For those who were there, the vibrant energy of the evening will resonate long after the stage lights have faded. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this situation, so please share your opinions in the comments. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay updated on the story.